Any deals? Thank you, Sheena. I think Keiko is in Vegas, so if anybody sees my partner in Vegas, tell him I'm looking for him. No, he said he's gonna be tied up with our the multi-unit. So one day we'll put Keiko on the stand here on a Friday, and we'll tell him, all right, tell us from start to finish. What do we do? how do we put this together and close a big deal like that? So, all right. Does anybody have any?
I had a question that I wanted to pose to the group. So I'm looking to put together insurance, both for LLC as well as individual projects. And I wanted to ask, what insurances do investors carry as real, as far, and what level of coverage will you carry with consideration to protecting both the individual project as well as the company LLC? Because I'll see out there, I'm looking at commercial general liability, builder's risk insurance, property and casualty, umbrella coverage, errors and omissions. And it's kind of want to get a feel for people that are doing fix and flips. Yeah, I'm looking here on Wahoo, as far as like what's been their experience, and what's their level of comfort as far as what insurance, they want to see in their projects and for the company.
Oh, that's a great question. I love this
Does
one.
that make sense?
Thank you, Mitch. Does anybody have anything? Oh. I'll give it a few more seconds. Oh, I wish our guy Jonathan was on the line. Or if Layla was on the line, because actually Layla would know for us. She handles all of that. But I know for us, we get for our projects is general liability. And we also have to get builder's risk policy whenever there's construction going on. So
yeah, I heard that when there's when the project site is vacant and nobody's living there, then places will require builder's risk insurance. But yeah, I was curious if people went with that or if they went a different route.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I know that most, if you're taking in hard money, they're going to require you to have builder's risk on the insurance policy if there's construction going on. Sometimes there's a point where we buy, or like if you buy raw land and you're going to build a few houses, then you can close with just the general liability. And then when you're ready to go vertical, right, or when you're ready to build, then you would have to get builder's risk on there. And then we also have E&O as well, errors and omissions. I don't know the details on our policy on like what we need. We kind of had to do it just to secure our line with the banks for our fund. But what was the other question you had about the insurance? It was E&O, if whether or not people have E&O.
Will you go like property and casualty? So in the event of natural disaster, something along those lines, or even umbrella coverage to kind of back up the commercial general liability in the event that a claim went above and beyond what you're protected for.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I think like the umbrella coverage would probably be more like put on the LLC, whereas the individual risk like commercial general liability might fall just under the individual project site.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much how we have it structured. I'm pretty sure. I'd have to check with Layla. I really don't know that side, but I'm pretty sure that that's how we get it done. Does anybody else have any input for Mitch? We have a good insurance guy too, Mitch, who's familiar with what we do. So if you need somebody, we can throw him your way.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I appreciate it.
Yeah, if anybody needs a good guy to go to for just property insurance, um, I'll share his contact right now. His name's Jonathan Fujinaka. Been working with him for a long time. He's an awesome guy. So I'll put it in here. Hopefully he's okay with me sharing his number. I'm sure he wants business, right?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody else have any leads, needs, good deeds? Any properties under contract that needs funding? Also stay tuned for the investors who are in Hawaii. I don't know if Kevin's on, Kevin Aubert, but next time, I see Kevin.
Yes,
Next time
on.
Kevin's got some capital to place, we're gonna bring him on Coffee Talk. But if anybody needs deals funded, he's the guy. All right, well, okay, let's move on to what we're going to talk about today. What I was thinking is, since we've been kind of rolling off of a theme these last couple of weeks about the wholesaling side, right, and some of the legislation that's being debated about regulating that space, it kind of made me want to think back to the wholesale side and focusing on wholesalers and diving into anyone who is wholesaling or has wholesaled currently. So I guess with a show of hands, I think we can do a hand raise, right? Are you guys able to raise your hand in this thing?
Raise my hand.
Well, oh, there we go. Okay, I see a few. Okay, but my question I want to know to the room is how many wholesalers are on the call right now? If raise your hand, and how many, if you've ever wholesaled a deal before, raise your hand. I kind of want to see how many people have actually wholesale deals and are wholesalers in our rooms. Okay, we got Dante. No shame, guys. I know there's plenty of you on this call. Aiden, where's your hand, dude? Oh, you cannot raise your hand. Oh, I guess some people can and some people cannot. Is that what it is? Okay. Nehua, Kala. Nice, nice. Okay. Well, I guess staying on the topic of wholesaling, I'll never forget, actually, my first three deals were wholesale deals, right? And me and Dante kind of were working together years ago, looking at deals, and he was helping me place valuations, so Dante, if you're still on the call, thank you so much again for your help early on. He was a guy that really kind of helped me, like took me seriously, a young guy who's just starting out wholesaling, probably doesn't really know what to do, right? But Dante was right there by my side, opening the door, showing properties, kind of crunching numbers with me. So thank you, Dante. And today, Dante is he's a broker as well as he invests himself. So we have some cool projects coming up, but he was a guy who was huge in helping me get started here in Hawaii. And I started out wholesaling as well. Lehua, what's your experience in wholesaling? If you're able to speak.
17 years.
Wow, nice. Okay,
It's been a
so
long time.
I'm guessing you have some war stories.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's good times and there's bad times. And right now, with rates going up, I'm
Yep.
sitting here patiently seeing if the brokers out there are going to learn how to adjust to what the new
Mhm.
market's going to be.
Yep. Yep. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
And are you a licensed realtor too?
Am I a licensed broker?
Yeah. No.
No,
Okay.
I just do wholesale
Oh, nice. Where?
for NewFi.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're in 44 states right now.
Yep.
But we continue to grow. One of our best products right now is probably the DSCR, which is an
Yep.
income producing property loan. So you can pull cash out as you need. Good product. Kevin can tell you a lot about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh yeah, Kevin's on. Hey. Well,
Kevin's the guy.
this is
I
perfect
do
then.
the numbers. He does the talking.
Yeah, right. Hello, everyone.
Great to have you guys on. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Kevin, I love the shirt, by the way. It's a little Friday.
Yep.
I know. Well, with your guys' like experience, have you guys? I mean, what markets are you seeing are best for wholesaling right now? Because
what kind of products or what kind of areas, states, stuff like that?
yeah, so like Lehul was saying the DSCR deals, right?
Yeah.
Those are kind of hot right now. So I'm assuming that every market there's a different strategy, right? So DSCR loans, I'm sure you don't have to get them as steep as you would under contract as you would maybe a fix and flip deal, right? But how much I guess room can you have, that's suitable for a buyer, a DSCR buyer?
So we mean room like LTV wise or
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So on our DSCR product, if the property is going to be positive cash flow, we can go up to 85 on a purchase.
Gotcha.
And we also offer IOs. So we offer a 30-year IO and a 40-year IO. So it's both have a 10-year IO period, and then there's a 20-year AM or a 30-year AM afterwards.
Gotcha.
So typically what we do is we use a 1007 for that DSCR calculation, and we're a buy and hold. We're not fix and flippers. So
Mhm.
we're the takeout people. So we typically use that 1007 for the DSCR calculations. Now, if it's going to be an area where that is very known for short-term rentals, like some areas in Hawaii, there's like Key West in Florida, that's all they have is short-term rentals. What we could do then, there's Air DNA, we can pull that, and if that has a higher rent rate per month than the 1007, then we can use that to get you to that positive cash flow. So and then get you to that 85 LTV, for your purchase.
Yeah. And what markets are you guys primarily in right now?
So we're in, just give me a minute. I don't know if I can share my screen, but I can show the states that we're in.
Yeah.
Let me do that. All right. All right, let's see.
We might need to send you control.
Yeah,
Oh, there we go.
I got it. Yeah.
There we go.
So the dark blue are the states that we're in. All right. We also have a small retail shop. So the dark blue is wholesale and retail.
Okay.
Utah currently is just wholesale. These we're licensed in, but we're still working on getting the docs ready. You gotta have the right docs, so it takes a little time. And then the light blues, these right here, we were just acquired by a company called Apollo, and they have a huge insurance company behind them called Athena, and they're going to be, they're our takeout for the most part. What we do is we acquire these loans and bi-monthly, 3 times a month, we'll issue out packages to sell to Wall Street or our Athena, our parent company. So that's what we do. We resell on a large scale. So once this acquisition took place, it just happened. Now we're going to apply for all the remaining states except for New York. New York, we don't know if we're going to be there or not, but I'd say by the end of the year, we'll be in every single state. Now, there are states that you might not be licensed in that you can still originate in a DSCR loan, and you're not licensed. And those, I'll show you those in just a second here.
And what is your guys' rates looking like now? Because it's been bouncing, huh?
Yeah, right. That's a great question. Who might be able to help answer that one? I think it's probably like the fives right now. They were in the low fours, but they just took a bounce. So, okay, so here we go. So these are the states that if you're not licensed in, you can still do loans, DSCR loans in. So Colorado, Connecticut, South Carolina, Illinois, Maryland, Tennessee, Texas, Hawaii, Washington, Georgia, Ohio, and Florida. But Florida, it has to close in an LLC, but you still can do it. So if you're not licensed, you have a client that has properties in one of these states, you can still originate that DSCR loan in that state.
And do you guys have? Oh, that's good. Is that the minimum FICO is 600?
Correct.
That's a low FICO, right? Yep.
Okay.
Low FICO 600.
And then what do you guys? What is your LTV?
Okay, let's see. And we do foreign nationals too.
Okay.
Right here. Okay, so right here. So on purchases, like I said, as long as it's $1 million, $1.5 million or lower, we'll do 85%. 85. Cash outs are at 80 to $1 million, then we go down to 75 at 1.5. Even though our loan amount says 3 million, we do exceptions, 3.5, maybe 4, so we do exceptions. So if that loan doesn't, if something's outside our requirement. Also, let me get to here. Where's our highlights? All right, so I said the 30 and 40-year IOs, we do gift funds. So the bar just has to have 10% of their own funds.
10%?
They just have to have 10% of their own funds. The rest can be gift funds.
Oh, okay. They have to have 10%.
Yeah. Yeah. So the rest can be gift funds.
Got it.
Now, if the primary wage earner has 3 credit scores, we don't go digging into see how many trade lines they have. So
Right.
non-QM is really big on, hey, you have to have, 2 at 24 months and activity, all that. If they have 3 scores, that meets our trade line requirement.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. Well, we'll definitely call you too, because we have some the DSCR has been bouncing up and out. It seems like it's the same, and everybody's kind of selling to the same guys, right? So it ends up being the same terms at the end of the day. But I've seen what I've been hearing just through the NPLA calls that we've been on is that the DSCR loans, some people are getting stuck now because they originated so aggressively, and then the rates have turned. So some of them are upside down. So some of them are bleeding.
Yeah.
And I know there's some pretty large companies that are. So I'm not surprised that the rates have bumped kind of dramatically. Yeah.
They're up about 3/4 almost, I'd say.
Yeah.
Since I'd say about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was actually surprising to see. I mean, we were at 3.75, I think, starting, and then now it's like 5.125.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Right? Yeah, overnight almost.
Yeah, it's
and
like
also
150 basis points. Like,
yeah. So and also our when you apply the interest only loan, we use the interest only payment for our DSCR calculation, so that helps that calculation get into the positive cash flow.
Yeah. So is that like a 10-year? You said
10-year
period. IO, and then what is that? A balloon payment, or is it?
Nope.
Adjust?
Nope. It's fixed. So it's fixed for 30 years or 40 years. So if you do the 40-year IO, 10 years of IO period, then a 30-year amortization with it's all fixed, the same rate throughout the whole 40 years. And it's
Okay.
a simple interest loan during that 10 years. So that meaning that, you know, the mortgage payment every month is based on the unpaid principal balance. So if the borrower's paying down at all on the principal balance, the following month, that payment will be reduced. So it recasts every month if they make any principal reduction payments. And then at the end of the 10 years, there's a final recast, and then that payment is set for the remaining 20 or 30 years.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Nice. So you guys specialize more in the long-term DSCR loans, right?
Yeah. We're like I said, we're definitely, you know, buy and hold, refinance and hold, stuff like that. We're not the fix and flips. We're the takeouts, right? Someone's, you know, fixing up a property. They got a short-term loan, you know, hard money loan or something like that
Yep.
to get the place up and running. Then we're the takeout.
Nice. What do you guys have
Yeah.
minimums? Like loan size minimum?
Yeah, 100. You know, we like to see things
100?
above 100. You know, we will consider, you know, maybe 90 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We might have some stuff to throw your way too.
Yeah,
We get a bunch of
great.
the smaller, but we don't do less than like 200 or so. But
Yeah. All right.
anyways, thanks, Kevin, for sharing. Like,
Kevin, what about the multifamilies that are coming out?
Oh, right. Yeah. Thank you, Lahua. So I think on the 20th, we'll be coming out with 5 and 8. So right now we do 1 to 4s.
yeah.
On the 20th, we'll be coming out with a 5 to 8 program also. So the multi
5 to
you know,
8. Is that a bridge or is that a long term?
long term again.
Long
So
term
five
again.
to 5 to 8 units.
Okay.
We're going to be able to originate 5 to 8 units.
Perfect. I know a
Yeah.
bunch of people who need some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks for reminding me, Lahua.
Someone asked a question, Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah, Blaze is
How
asking.
difficult is the process?
How difficult?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Currently, well, for the 1 to 4s, you know, I can't speak to 5 to 8 yet because we don't have it out there yet. But 1 to 4s, we're, you know, I heard people talk about appraisals. That's going to be the biggest holdup, right? You know, we've gotten them done within 20 days. So all depends on that appraisal. And here's another thing. You know, this is 40% of our business, DSCR. So, you know, we're really nailing it down. And on the 1003, all we want is the subject and primary. So if the borrower owns 15 properties, we don't care. You don't have to list out all these properties on the 1003, just the subject and primary. And that's all we're going to look at for the housing history. So we're really streamlining this as much as possible throughout the whole process.
Right.
So, you
And
know,
so the 1003 is the commercial loan application. It's the standard
Yes, yeah.
commercial loan application for
yeah,
people
yes,
who don't
exactly.
know. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And Kevin, you can order the appraisal prior to, correct?
Yes,
Because
Right.
they're non-trid.
right.
And
So,
what are you guys seeing appraisal timeframes looking like right now?
you know, it's slower, and it also
Mhm.
depends on where it is and all that stuff. Couple weeks, you know, something like that. So,
Okay. Well, thank you guys for sharing and coming on.
Yeah.
I might have to, can you guys drop your contact in the chat? Cause I might need to, give you guys a call too.
Absolutely.
We can work together on some stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Perfect.
But okay, does anybody else have anything that they've experienced in the wholesale? I was talking about mostly wholesaling real estate. I know who Aiden, you mentioned you spoke about your experience, right? Starting out listening to Jerry Norton, right? Who Kikoa just had an interview with.
Oh yeah.
Can
All
you
the guys.
expand a little bit about that, your story, how that happened?
Well, it's just, you know, fresh into it, wanted to taste of real estate, was broke, so couldn't do much, couldn't flip, but read Rich Dad Poor Dad and knew I just wanted to be in real estate. So jumping on YouTube, getting educated from Jerry Norton really specifically. The same day found him, started making on calls on MLS offers, you know, using his technique, and then getting a prop stream trial, finding some off market, you know, out of state people, home own free and clear, maybe it's tax delinquent, and giving them a call. I think that the first one was in Atlanta that we got.
Okay,
And,
yeah. Tell us how you did that then. How did you go from being in Hawaii to learning, through Jerry Norton and his content on YouTube, getting
Yeah,
something under contract in Virginia,
Atlanta, Georgia.
or Atlanta,
Yeah.
and then wholesaling it to a buyer in Atlanta?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, take us from start to finish. Like, how did you do that? If you even remember, or recall, because when I first met you, you couldn't even explain how you did it.
Yeah,
So.
a lot of it was just blind luck that I really haven't been able to replicate the same level of success that I did in that first one, because everything just aligned. Like within the first week, we found someone who was like actually looking to sell. We used the contract that Jerry Norton provided, had him sign it, and then from there we just looked up We Buy Homes Atlanta, found a cash buyer investor, and then from there you kind of
Wait. So how did you find the deal though? Like,
finding the deal, that was through PropStream. We're on our 7-day trial of PropStream, and then we found a property. We used True People Search to find the guy,
to skip trace.
Yeah, to skip trace the guy.
Okay, how did you identify that property in Atlanta of all places using PropStream? Like, we got to dive in a little bit deeper.
So with as far as which market we chose, it was just luck. Like we had no idea where to look, and so we just knew that Atlanta price points were a little lower, and so we're like, yeah, I think we can work something out there. And so we just looked on Atlanta PropStream. I think the filters we used were owned free and clear, out of state, and maybe tax delinquent. We played around with the filters, and then we were just looking through properties. And so we found a guy who was out of state. Then we just True People searched the property address, which is it's a great tool for anyone who doesn't want to pay for a skip trace. You can reverse search phone numbers, addresses, names, and it gives you the contact info for them. So you can look up yourself too to see if someone can find you on there. But yeah, so I used that, and so we just reached out to him. And oh my goodness, my calls back then were so bad. Remembering back to
happens to all of us.
Yeah. I have some recorded of my calls. Just
Ooh.
I'm not showing them to anyone, but it was bad. Even my calls to agents as well when I first got started. But yeah, from there it was just talking to him. He was actually just like, yeah, I have been looking to sell, and what do you think you could offer? And we didn't even know how to run numbers. I think we gave him like a pretty good price on it. And then when talking to to try finding cash buyer, he's like, no, I need it at this price. And so we went back to him, the seller, and the seller was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. I just want to get rid of it. So we made $5,000 off that in the end.
Okay.
And that was the most money I've ever made. Like way more than I've ever made in a month. And so after that, I was like, real estate is where I need to be. And
I love it.
From there, it was just like one wholesale, and we're like, okay, yeah, we want to move to some flipping. And within that same month of completely being fresh, we had put a property under contract in Hawaii. And we almost got it. We are gonna actually JV with Dustin. And then that's how I met Corey. Was my roommate at the time reached out to Corey. He found his contact info somewhere, and Corey said we could go to we can come over and talk. So and from there it's history. Now I'm here working for Keiko.
That's awesome. Yeah, you have a great story, bro. But you're destined for greatness. That's one thing that impressed me when Aiden and Adrian his partner at the time was in the office telling me what they did. I was like, you guys know that that's not normal, right? Like most people don't pick up Rich Dad Poor Dad, read it, and then go on YouTube and go wholesale a property in a totally different state. You know, like that's not easy. Like, how did you guys do that? And they couldn't even explain it to me at the time. So just you explaining it now makes sense to me now, you know, because now you can understand, like, okay, that's what we did. I don't know. It just shows, guys, like you can, you know, you can be from anywhere, right? Come from no knowledge. I mean, Aiden and they probably had like a month worth of looking into real estate, but
Listen,
the thing
I
was,
didn't know there's anything outside of real estate agents before I started. And when my friend told me about wholesaling, I was like, bro, that's a scam. Like no one's gonna, you know, sell
Oh,
you
you're one
your,
of those
your
guys.
property. Yeah, I was like, no way, dude. And then yeah, then everything changed. But
yeah. So well, that's that makes sense. Now I understand a little bit more about the story. So you got it under contract. How did you get the contract? You used the contract from the
Jerry
internet?
Norton, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, from Jerry
Yeah.
Norton. Okay. Man, we gotta get you on a podcast with him. That's funny. So after you guys wholesaled the first one, did you do it again?
That's my dog.
Oh, Louis. Poor Louis.
We had we did one more the exact same way, somewhere like right outside of Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
And those were the only two that we did. And those
How
are
much did you
still
wholesale that one for?
2,500. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's,
was that in the
to us,
same
it was
month?
it was better than absolutely nothing. Was that?
Was that in the same month? Like how far in between the two deals?
That was
it?
that was the next month. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Wow. Well, so you do have some wholesale stories to tell. One thing I was gonna kind of leave up to the room to see if we wanted to. I know we didn't get to last time. We played about half of the video that the interview that Kiko did with Jerry Norton, and if you guys want to watch that towards the end, we can put that up. But does anybody else have anything to say about their wholesaling journeys? Because I think we can learn a lot, you know, just talking about certain deals. For example, when I first started wholesaling, I spent like a couple of $1,000s that I didn't really have at the time for marketing and postcards. And so one of the biggest lessons I learned was don't pay for the glossy, fancy mailers. You know, if you're doing direct mail and you're mailing postcards or letters or something, I would say the biggest lesson I learned was my card was too nice. It was shiny, it was glossy, said we buy houses. You know, it looked like junk mail because it was junk mail. You know, so I'll never forget when I first started out, I didn't really quite know even the lingo or the language, right? So I'll tell you how I really gained traction was I just obsessed about it for like a good year. I would just listen to podcasts. So I would listen to Bigger Pockets, of course. So I had at the time it was Josh Dorkin, the owner, the former owner of Bigger Pockets. Brandon was in my ear. I don't know if you guys know who Tucker Merrihew is, but he has the Real Deals podcast. He was in Portland, Oregon, I believe, a developer and investor. I think he just moved recently to Florida. But I would listen to his podcast. And then I used to also listen to Sean Terry's Flip to Freedom podcast. It's all about wholesaling, you know, and Sean Terry's easy to listen to, you know, so I would just listen to those podcasts religiously, whether I was washing dishes or at the gym, in traffic, mowing the lawn. And sometimes I wouldn't even be listening. But before I knew it, like I was speaking the same language as everybody else, you know. So I think even though I wasn't really, there's times when I'm working out, I'm not really soaking in the content, just constantly having it come into your ears and your brain subconsciously. Like before I knew it, I don't even know when it was, but before I knew it, I'm speaking the same language at the highest level, you know. So if there's somebody whoever asks me, how do I get started, what's the first thing I do, you know, like that's such a hard question to answer for one, but I already know what my go-to is go listen to Sean Terry's podcast, you know, started from episode 1 like years ago, and just listen to every single one, listen to Bigger Pockets, and you know, after a year of that, you're going to be at a whole different level, you know, just by listening to the podcast. But anyways, so I was Sean Terry was my unofficial like mentor, you know, like haven't met him to this day, but I would listen to his content, and I would listen to exactly what he said. I'd send my mailers out. And then so one time after my first couple campaigns, and like a few $1,000s later that I wasted, that I didn't have at the time, I finally reached out to him. I think it was on Facebook. I just sent him a message thinking that he wouldn't even reply, but I said, hey, I've been trying like almost everything that you said, and you know, I'm having trouble, so I'm wondering if you can help me out. And he did respond, and he said, hey, send me a picture of your postcard, and you know, and I'll take a look at it. So I sent a picture of the mailer that I used, and he responded right away, and he said, I know the problem. He said, it's too nice. He said, it's too fancy. It looks like junk mail. He said, so the moment people see it, it goes straight in the trash. And then when he said that, I realized, oh yeah, he's right, you know. And so I thought making it professional and fancy might increase the conversion rate, but it's totally opposite, right? So he sent me a postcard to use, and
Stop.
shucks, usually I have one on here, but I have one on my desk that I can show an example with. But Chris Chico is another wholesaler, but he said use this postcard. It was Chris Chico's postcard. It's a yellow postcard with just a block of text on it. It's super ugly, you know. But I sent that same postcard to the same list that I was sending my other ones to, and the conversion rate was crazy. I was getting calls left and right, and that's actually how I got my first 3 deals, was using that postcard. So it does matter, you know, your direct mail marketing. There are little tweaks in there that you can make, but that was one of the biggest lessons that I've learned, was actually when I was wholesaling. And it was more about how do we stand out amongst the noise out there, right? So that was one thing. If you guys that's why I think handwritten letters have such a high conversion rate, is because it looks personal. It doesn't look like a commercial advertisement, you know. So hopefully that helps with some people with their efforts in marketing, because if you don't know your numbers marketing, you can just basically go broke, you know. So be careful out there. And if you ever need tips, I'd say listen to Sean Terry's podcast. You can't go wrong. So maybe one day I'll reach out to him again. All right, guys. Well, since we have a little bit more time, and then I don't know, Sheena, if we have the video, do we have the rest of that video we can leave to see if people want to stay and watch? Otherwise, we can call it a week. Oh, Dante's back. What's up, Dante? I was about to tell stories from our days when we were wholesaling a long time ago. All right. Okay, I guess we might not have that video. Sheena is having some internet issues, but I'm gonna hang out, guys, to talk story a little bit. And I know there's a few of us on the call who have deals on the line who need some financing. So if that's you, please feel free to stick around and we can talk about putting you in touch with the right people to get the deals done. Sound good? Otherwise, we can end it early. If Sheena gets her internet up and running, maybe we can watch the rest of that video that Kiko did, because I thought it was a great interview, all the way around, and it's been circulating amongst the NPLA too. So it looks like hopefully we can form an alliance with some of the investors who are influencers out there and the NPLA, so that we can, you know, stand up to defend what we feel is protecting our industry, so from too much regulation. All right, guys. Well, unless anybody has anything else to say before we log off, have a great Aloha Friday, great weekend, and happy Super Bowl Sunday coming up. We'll see you next week.
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
Corey, can you hear me, Corey?
Yeah, I
Can you hear
you.
me? Okay. Sorry, I was on the call. I don't know. It's something that had to do with my phone, I guess. I was on call for the whole time.
Oh, you were? Oh, no worries.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, no,
yeah.
no. No, but I would just want to add on what you were saying earlier as far as like doing letters and everything.
Yep.
If you are working with like a realtor, sometimes it can give you credibility in adding your realtor's name on it.
Mhm.
Because I work with some wholesalers, they added my name on it, and they would call me instead of the wholesaler.
Yeah, because they'd rather speak to someone who is licensed, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a point that was brought up amongst the meetings too, when it came to wholesaling, was, you know, perhaps it's a good thing, you know, because then it brings a little bit more trust. But John Hornick, I think, I played a little bit of the NPLA call. He made a good point. He's like, whether you're licensed or not, you know, you can be a criminal whether you're licensed or not, right? So,
Yeah.
but some people trust licensed realtors more than, you know, others, I guess. But what has your experience been right now, Dante? Has it been hard since the market's been, you know, very strong seller's market?
For me, they've been competitive because they've been watching the market, and that's why their asking price is kind of high. But if we explain to them, like, you know, the value and everything, I've been getting success where, because I know like the mortgage forbearance and everything is running, you know, ran out or whatever.
Yep.
So I've been back searching for all the expired listings that got pulled out of the MLS 2020 and prior, and that never came back on the market, and that's who I've been target marketing,
Yep.
and that's where I've been getting a lot of my success on.
Nice. Okay. Okay. What about, I mean, okay, if you're going after off market, Dante, like what
Yeah.
would you feel is some of the most motivated leads? Is it absentee owners, out of state absentee owners, maybe probates, maybe inheritance list?
Mine was they were gonna sell prior anyway. I think some of them were the ones that I've been in contact with were like bankruptcy. They were in bankruptcy or they were in forbearance.
Gotcha. Okay. So bankruptcy list. Okay.
Yeah.
What others are there? There's, yeah, probate.
There's
Probate is always a tricky one, right?
yeah. For me, those were the two that actually I got success with my list. Was like there were like 3, I think, bankruptcies, and then I believe like 2, I think, was in mortgage forbearance.
Gotcha. I used to like the out of state absentee owner list. and they had like a little bit of a mortgage still, maybe like 20%, 80% equity or more.
Another, I was just gonna say another good list is the tired landlords. So it's
Hired
like
landlords. Yeah, okay, describe that.
that one's for like rentals that are passed down to someone. So they don't really have any like, they don't really care about it that much. It's just something that they have and maybe they just want to, the equity instead. So
That's a good point. So how do you pull that data then? It's
it's a filter on PropStream.
really,
They do it
so
for
they
you.
must
Yeah.
know when like there's a transfer of, yeah, when somebody new is deeded the property, maybe, and
I
then
guess, yeah.
wow, yeah.
Or just another one is calling up um property management and just asking if there's any like, hey, do you guys know of any landlords that maybe tired of holding their property and they just are looking to sell, and then maybe you'll give them they sell, you can give them a cut, or if you want to keep as a rental, you can just use them still. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. If I had to start all over, if I had to start from scratch, I think I would form an army of like maybe young, hungry people who want to get into the industry to just go driving for dollars or biking for dollars. Maybe I would start like a bike club and we can just all just go around the neighborhood and ride bikes and just start taking down properties, because those are like honestly the highest, the best list is the driving for dollar list, because that you're looking, we either deal with distressed properties or distressed owners, right? Sometimes both. So at the very least, that one of the two is there, right? You're looking at a distressed property. It looks vacant. The grass is overgrown. It's the eyesore in the neighborhood. So yeah, I guess I would start there.
I got a idea for wholesalers who wants to do like driving for dollars, because I reached out to them. If you want to get paid for driving for dollars, what you can do is start driving for Lyft and Uber so that you get paid while you drive to neighborhoods. I reached out to the drivers and told them that, if you see any rundown properties, call me.
That's a great idea. That is a great idea. Okay. I'm gonna ask, yeah, the next Uber guy, we're gonna ask him. Okay. Nice one. I like that. Anyone else have any tips? Oh, you're welcome, Kevin. Rashawn was, I don't know if Rashawn is still on. He was asking about, can we talk about stocks? Why is it dropping? I don't know. Oh, the poor stock guys. Sorry, I have no answer for that. I wish it well. Hopefully it's not a bumpy ride.
That's right. They usually have families and stuff, so they can't afford it. But the rooms are for their kids, their spouse, and the people.
Hey Mel, how's it going? I'm not sure if you meant to come on or not. I just muted it just in case. All right, guys. Well, next week we're gonna try to bring somebody on. If anybody has anyone they want to see on the call, feel free to let us know. I'd love to get Jerry Norton on our call, our live call. Maybe a couple other guys that I know bring a lot of value, so we can keep this thing going. And as long as you guys are finding value, we'll keep doing this. So I hope you guys have a great Super Bowl weekend, and we'll see you next week. hopefully with some deals. Aloha. Shoots everybody.